Hi, this is Jody Colegrove with Quantum Techniques, most comprehensive diagnostic form of energy medicine in the world today. I work with people all over the phone, all over the world, helping them with their health and happiness and find out why they're not healing or what's going on with their bodies and what they can do about it. Today I want to talk a little bit about prostate cancer and prostate issues. And so there's a lot of research going out, and I just came across an article I thought had a couple good points and I wanted to share those. So the first one is, clear detection. There's a test that they do, which is a PSA test. And so if a doctor says you have a high PSA level, what does that mean? And so that usually means to them that we have some prostate cancer and need to do something about it. There's other things that can add to a high PSA level. And that could be, pathogens are in that area, or old pathogens are kind of stuck in that. One thing that we find with prostate cancer is that what's happening is that, let's say women tend to get yeast infections, especially if they have a fungal infection inside their body and it's in the vaginal area. Well, if they have sex with a man, sometimes that yeast infection gets transferred for the man, but they have no symptoms. But that yeast infection goes into the prostate and is kind of held there. So that's why you can have extra pathogens, which include virus, bacteria, and also fungal. So if we find that a woman has some kind of a yeast infection in that area, we ask them not to have sex without a condom, and that way they're not transferring that fungal infection to the male. So that's something to be aware of. So check out with Quantum Techniques. What we can do is we can find out, okay, if you have a high level, PSA level, what's causing it, and see if we can work on getting that down. So next thing is, there is a test out that is a glycine 3, and if those levels are high, that causes it shows that there's inflammation, or it can add, to inflammation, fibroids, and tumor development, also mastation, and suppresses immunity. So it's important that if you do get that test, we find out, okay, what's causing those things, and find out what we can do to decrease that. So one of the other things that's really important for the prostate is to have a good proper diet. Okay, so the Western diet is high in unhealthy fats, sugars, and processed ingredients that promote inflammation, damaged DNA, fuels numerous diseases, and so that's why we call it the sad diet. So the things that are better to eat are lean, meats. Only have red meat every so often. Have plant-based protein like beans and things like that. Also have if you can, eat more whole grains, but we do find a lot of people are bad on grains, and so it's important to test that. And also eat organic fruits and vegetables. And all those help you have a better diet. And that's what we do at Quantum Techniques, is find out what's best for you to eat for that particular symptom that you have. Other things that can create issues for the prostate is stress. Okay, so stress does play a role there. And, I've worked with, several men, that have issues with whether it's libido or having erections and things like that. And it's important to find out, what are the stressors behind? And I've just been amazed at how many times it's really an emotional response to not being successful or to having some trauma in your life and things like that. So it's pretty easy to kind of work through and find out how to clear that. Other things that can help with decreasing stress are things like yoga, chi, meditation, exercise. So those are why those are important in our life. There's also several different supplements that we can test for in order to help have good support. And so those would be, different vitamins and herbs and minerals that are really helpful. So we can test some of those. So for the prostate, what is good to eat? And again, we'd have to test you on it, but in order to help the prostate stay really healthy. So these are things that they recommend. Oysters, mackerel, tomatoes. And it's important, obviously, to find out whether the tomato is more of a nightshade and you're affected by nightshades, because that would cause inflammation. So it's important to find out. Spinach, pomegranates, collard greens. And I found out something interesting about collard greens. I come from an area, which is the South, where there's a lot of collard greens, but they're finding that the older generation ate a lot of collard greens and the new generation is not. And so in the farming, there's not as much collard greens being produced, which is really sad because it's a really good crop for us to eat every single day. Oh, okay, maybe not every single day, but really good to add to our diet. Sorry about that. All right, other things are pumpkin seeds, tuna. We just need to make sure that it's both the mackerel and also the tuna, that they don't have too much mercury in them. We can test to see, okay, like my son, he loves tuna, and we try to limit him to once a week because sometimes it just causes too much, and so he's getting too many. You can also find tuna that doesn't have the mercury in it, so you can look for more organic tuna and things like that. So just be aware that those kind of fishes can add more the heavy metals to your diet. Ginger is another one, and so this particular article gives some great recipes on adding more tuna and things like that to your diet. So they sounded good. So that's why I cut out the article. I wanted to share it with you. So anyway, so it's really good to have good prostate health. And I've given you a couple ideas on what you can do to keep your prostate doing well. And women, because we're the health people usually. And so a lot of times I'm letting you guys know so that you can help your husbands have good health too. So visit our website at quantumtechniques.com, and you can get lots of different YouTube information. You can get lots of MP3 downloads. We have free codes on there. We have manual. We even have Steve's new book about quantum techniques and how quantum techniques works and what energy medicine is all about. We look forward to having a session request with you so that we can work together for an hour and find out how you can get your health and happiness back. So I look forward to working with you at Quantum Techniques. Blessings.